Hello everyone and welcome to highlights of this Vanarama National League South clash between Bath City and Hampton and Richmond Borough from 𝗛𝗚𝗚𝗛𝗚𝗛𝗧 Park. It's the start of the bank holiday weekend for the Romans, who are looking to build on last week's success at Eastbourne. City are now the top scorers in the division, but uniquely also have the worst defensive record. Their 4 matches have contained 20 goals, the highest for them at this stage since 1958. In contrast, Hampton's games have been more closely fought and lower scoring, with last week's 2-1 success at Truro their first win of the season, and included the most goals in their 4 games. Hampton are unbeaten in their last 6 against the Romans. Both games last year ended in 1-1 draws. 10 places but a mere 2 points separate the sides in the early placings. The Beavers have been forced to play every game away from the Beverley so far due to issues with the playing surface. The big news this afternoon is the return to the squad of Alex Fletcher for Bath City. 291 days on from his horrifying accident here against Dulwich Hamlet, the popular forward is among the 5 substitutes following his remarkable recovery. City made 2 changes to the starting lineup, Dan Hayfield and Elliot Freer dropping out, with Joe Rains and Tom Smith back in. Hampton have made 2 changes from last week. Out go Jordan Cheadle and last week's match winner Connor Curran-Brown. Alfie Whittingham is recalled, and Jake Gray makes his first start this campaign. Ruari Donaldson is not in the squad. Commentary for this game is provided by Bath City Radio's Andrew Kerlslake and Alex Lane Kieltyka.
As Hampton and Richmond will get us kicked off, Bath City will be shooting towards the Bath end for this first half, going down the slope. Want to get the early start going. As we're underway now, Whittingham kicking us off. He goes all the way out to the left-hand side for Wishart, who will be looking to send it down the left flank. Instead goes back to Inman. And then cuts all the way across to his fellow partner, Luis Fernandez, who's playing on the right of the 2 centre-backs today. And now Jordan Thomas of Bath is fighting out with Jordan Thomas of Hampton. So it'll certainly be a fun afternoon talking about their battling out together as Parser wins the header, just keep it away from danger. Bloomfield does really well to bring it down on the edge of the box now. Nice last-ditch challenge from Russ, keep it away. And suddenly Ewan Clark finds himself in acres of space on my right-hand side, charging now towards the box. He might send a cross in towards Wilson, tries to chest it down, touch lets him down though. Had he brought that down to his feet, he may have been able to crack a shot there. The biggest thing about today will be whether Hampton can adapt to the 2 wingers. Weston did it very well, in fairness to him. He kept Jordan Thomas very quiet. Here comes Thomas now. He might take a shot with the left foot. Goes to the bottom corner. Good save, solid save from De Boer to hold it within his chest. Goes up to Whittingham, who seems to be playing in the centre of the front 3 at the moment. And then it looks like they're trying to play a very fluid formation. That's a brilliant ball by Luke Russell all the way to Ewan Clark, but he's offside, unfortunately. Almost broke through that gap of defenders. It suits him quite well. Ewan Clark spins the defender really well that time. Brings it inside to Smith. Has about 4 players around him. Sends a good cross in up towards Wilson. It may actually fall to Cook. Good header away that time by Shane Dunn. We haven't heard too much of him today. And it will be a corner for City, the first one of the game. 10 minutes, 11 minutes in fact gone. Plenty of options inside the box from cross into, including Jack Batten's run towards the penalty spot now. Goes towards Rains. He seemed to get a bit of a glaring header upon it. And Ewan Clark's able to dispossess Hampton from being able to counter-attack. Now Ewan Clark by the byline sends a cross into Cook, a little bit high, and it would have avoided the defender. That's a brilliant 50-50 between Whittingham and Parcell. And Whittingham's tackle eventually comes off of Parcell. And a very silly booking coming for Luke Russ, who kicks the ball away. I don't know if it was maybe in frustration. It was very odd. He's not happy with that. He's being booked there, up towards Seymour. Thomas, now with Thomas for Bath, who could find a way to go forward. He has plenty of players around him to use with Russ. Can go over to right-hand side to switch up the play. It's a beautiful ball out to Ewan Clark. Good first touch as well. Can send a low cross in towards Wilson. 1-0 to City. That is a fantastic finish from Scott Wilson. In the 19th minute, it's 1-0 to Bath City. Absolutely brilliant top corner finish from Scott Wilson, 6 yards out. Beautiful ball from Russ. Brilliant cross from Ewan Clark and a tidy finish from Scott Wilson to make it 1-0 to the Romans, and they've broken the Beavers down finally.
There's little that I can add to that. I think you said it all exactly. I mean, we were saying what a threat Ewan Clark was down that right-hand side, and there's been about 3 crosses into the box before that, and quite often behind the player. This time, though, Clark made absolutely no mistake, and Wilson coming in on that ball just powered home.
Goes out wide to right-hand side for Clark. This time Wishart just holding him down, waiting for an overlap. Oh, again, it does really well. Clever foot from Ewan Clark, takes a shot. He got past Wishart initially, and Inman able to block the shot. It was a rather tame effort as Joe Rains does really well to spin away, sends a cross in, and Cody Cook is brought to the ground there. Obviously, he was never getting to the ball.
He's had 21 pretty torrid minutes so far.
Certainly has, as Bloomfield just lets the ball go. This time for Jake Gray on the left-hand side now. Can send a cross in from Hampton up towards Bloomfield. He does look like he's going to win the header. Greensay came in strong. Strong shot from Jordan Thomas for Hampton. Great save from Ollie Wright with his legs. Now Thomas again. Back to Fernandez, sends a cross in. And that might have been the first shot on target for Hampton in this game as Batten's able to just clear the ball up for Cody Cook. End-to-end stuff now. Almost a brilliant threaded ball through with a left foot up towards Wilson. And now it is with Jordan Thomas for Bath this time. Here comes Thomas. He took his eye off the ball for a second, and Fernandez couldn't take the ball away from him, so he gets past the defender towards the edge of box now. For Tom Smith, couldn't quite get the ball out from under his feet. Cook. Smith, 20 yards out, takes a shot. It's blocked down that time by Steadfield. But he has dropped to the turf now. Hopefully it's nothing too serious as Ewan Clark has the ball. Can come forward with it. Has Smith ahead of him. Uses Smith, goes towards the byline, sends a cross in. But deflected away by Inman and will go out for a corner. Unfortunately, Jordan Thomas has stayed down though, and he will receive some treatment, I believe.
Shane Dunn made the National League South Team of the Week last week.
Here comes a corner from Ewan Clark up towards Joe Rains, just to do a scorpion kick to find the top corner. Three midfielders linking up. Fernandez, a centre-back, playing in almost a winger position. Gray does well just to get forward, get between Russ and Thomas. Sent a lovely cross in, can find himself to Bloomfield, who lays it off onto the edge of the box. For Deadfield to try and unleash a shot with a left foot, and able to do so. Cook does really well to hold the ball up for Wilson, who's completely swiped out that time by Shane Dunn. And it will be a free kick halfway inside the Bath half. 29.5 minutes gone here at Twerton Park. You listen to Bath City Radio. Myself, Alex and Kieltyka, alongside Andrew Kerlslake for Bath City versus Hampton and Richmond Borough. It's currently 1-0 to the Romans here at Twerton Park. And the referee says no foul. And it will be a throw-in for Bath.
I'm a bit surprised at that. I would have thought again that Smith maybe was taken out there.
Whittingham certainly got a lot of passion. Wears his heart on his sleeve. Where's the badge on his sleeve as well. Thomas, left-hand side, has Greenside in the overlap. Doesn't use him yet. Does another step over. Sends a good-looking cross. It was almost a bit of a shot cross, which Dubois did not want to take any risks of seeing it go into the back of his net. He ends up just leaping up, gets a palm to, and it goes out for a corner. But lovely again by Jordan Thomas.
If you are just joining us and confused, it's because Hampton has a Jordan Thomas and Bath has a Jordan Thomas.
Two very different footballing journeys. We'll talk about that in a few moments' time as Tom Smith is on the counter-attack now. Has a few options ahead of him. Has to pick the right one though, and he's not told that there's a man on there, and he will be fouled. In fact, he'll commit the foul, and there's a bit of handbags being thrown around there. Not quite sure what was going on with Smith in that situation. He's getting the book out again now, and it will be Tom Smith who goes into book. They just kicked out slightly then, didn't it?
Yeah, I think Smith was a bit cross because he had options on his left and his right. Didn't take either of them, then just ran into traffic.
Looking for an option. He sends it long this time. No short play to hold possession. Maybe get a little bit more desperate as Thomas for Hampton can send a cross in from the right-hand side. It's a lovely looking cross. Brilliant last-ditch clearance from Joe Rains to keep it away from Whittingham, who was charging in at the back post. 36.5 minutes gone now. Still 1-0 to the Romans. Here comes the corner. Jordan Thomas towards a near post again. Looked like another scorpion kick from Joe Rains. It seems to be the initial tactic from that one. And Greenside looks like he was trying to go for a shot there. I don't think that was going to be a cross or a pass. He put a lot of welly behind it after last season, where a lot of teams expected him to go down. They've ended up having a very good game as Fernandez brings down Jordan Thomas at a late challenge, and that's certainly got to be a book-in. And Callum Fisk, there was no second guessing on that one. Definitely a yellow card. And Jordan Thomas, he's had that backline in his pocket all game, I think. On the right-hand side for City. Inman to Bloomfield. That's a lovely turn from Bloomfield. Good burst of pace as well. Takes a shot. Nice to see from a striker, to be fair, to take a ball on like that. It's a poor effort. Goes way wide. 2 minutes remaining of this first half.
I was only a child when we started, of course.
Of course, Andrew. I was in primary school, I believe.
Oh, don't say that.
It's a Whittingham now on the left-hand side. Can send a cross in now, and it will be a foul against Russ. not Russ, sorry, it was actually Rain. Sorry, I was going to say the booking came out and I did get slightly worried, but Russ may have had a second yellow, but it was Rains who brought Whittingham down. Here comes the free kick. Now it could have found itself all the way through to Inman, who couldn't quite find a shot off. Ollie Wright was diving down, ready for the initial ball. Cleared away by City, but goes out for a throw. Deadfield, left-hand side, can send a cross in with the left foot. He does so, it comes off Russ. And Wilson could chase that, actually, and he may find himself in possession there. Had he just seen that it was going to stay a little bit earlier. That was a 50-50 situation there, but Ewan Clark can bring it away. Wilson now, can find himself one-on-one with the keeper. On the right-hand side of the box, takes a shot, but it looks like he was leaning back just to reach that ball. There's a Hemel 1, Maidstone 1 as well. Now, Whittingham, on the right-hand side. Parcel does well, just to head it away. Finds his way through to Whittingham, now a Gray. Brings it inside for Dunn to send a really good looping cross in up towards Bluefield. I believe it was actually Deadfield that got his head onto that in the end, and it goes over the bar, fortunately for Ollie Wright, not having to worry, but good opportunity for Hampton and Richmond.
Yeah, you do worry a little bit that Hampton pushing up, and that is half-time. So City going in, that goal advantage on 19 minutes. Great run by Clark down the right-hand side, cross into the box, and Wilson hitting home from close range. Plenty of other chances for City, but not able to add on to that.
Cook trying to win the header, headed away by Wishart that time. That's a lovely, that's a beautiful ball actually from Luke Ruskett up to Ewan Clark, who does incredibly well to win a free kick there. He knew exactly where Wishart was. He knew exactly where he wanted him. He just sort of seemed to back off into the defender, and he brings Clark down for Thomas to try and get it straight to Smith, although he is completely on his own on the edge of the box. In fact, it will go to Clark, who will try and bring it onto his left foot. No, he actually brings it back to Thomas, sends across him with the right foot towards the back post, and will go straight out for a goal kick. Up to Cody Cook, can't quite win the header that time. Inman does so instead. Rush just putting pressure on, does dispossess, or intercept should I say, the ball that was going for Whittingham. Now Thomas just looking for an option. Just nice to see a real cool head from a young player like that. He looks up, he takes his time, sends a ball out wide to get to Rains. Now Clark will take on Wishart again. Sends a ball in with a right foot, and Cody Cook, I don't think he expected the ball to get past Inman that time, and he just puts his head in the way, almost just assuming it could come to him, and he's not able to direct the ball. Deadfield. Dunn, just looking for an option, looks up. All the City players behind the ball at the moment. Not looking to concede a goal too easily. As now Wilson has a chance to counter-attack, could be a 3-on-2 opportunity. Lovely ball forward to Thomas. He does have Cody Cook on his own in the middle, doesn't quite see him initially. Can fall to Wilson, takes a shot. What a finish that is from Scotty Wilson to make it 2-0 in the 59th minute. And that is a brace from Super Scotty Wilson. Incredible here at Twerton Park. Everyone on their feet for a splendid finish from the super striker himself. And it's now Bath City 2, Hampton and Richmond Borough 0.
Well, when the highlights come out, you will be gagging to absolutely see that. The ball across from Thomas. Cook was behind Cook. He stuck out a foot. Came to Wilson, who must have been 22 yards out. Absolutely hammered it. And behind the Hampton and Richmond goal, really stood absolutely no chance of that. And, well, Scott Wilson just continuing from where he left off at the end of last season.
Now to Deadfield. Goes all the way back to Dunn, sends a cross in. Parcells there's the first man to keep it away. Now with Hall again. Just holding up the ball well, right on the edge of the box. Oh, plays a lovely ball forward up towards Seymour. Ollie Wright does well. He actually went down low, but probably a little bit too early. But luckily, it works in his favour. And he came on against City last year and looked a very solid outfit. Now it's with Seymour. Goes all out to Cohen Brown. May try and line up a cross there. He does so up towards Bloomfield. He does win the header and somehow just drops just wide. Tom Smith.
Well, on the yellow card.
And here comes Dan Hayfield. And we know what he's all about, Dan Hayfield. He's been a bit quiet in the last few weeks, but actually potentially coming on as a substitution, it could end up being exactly what City need to find that third goal. Wishart not able to head it onto anyone, and it's cleared away. Cody Cook does really well, and that should be a free kick and potentially a booking there as well. And it will be a booking for the oncoming Cheadle. He's only been on for about 10 minutes or so. Batten does really well to win the header. Does fall to Hall. Russ sort of fell over himself, not able to dispossess Hall that time. Holds up the ball, he's about 20 yards out. Lovely outside of football to switch it up to Thomas, who sends a lovely looking cross across the face of goal. Could have found its way to Seymour. He's not able to find his foot to the ball, and it goes just wide of a post there. And Rob Hall causing a few issues already for City. Thomas does well just to feint it away from Kieran Brown. Goes back to Greenside now. Now with Thomas who'll chase on. Good foot race there. And Kieran Brown actually seemed to let go of Thomas there. As Thomas cuts away inside the box. Cuts away back out onto near the byline. Sends a cross in. Cleared away that time by Inman. Has put the fluorescent green back on though, the bib. Clark. Oh, it's brilliant from Clark. Takes on one player, but unfortunately the ball just gets lost under his feet. Actually nutmegged Wishart initially. Kieran Brown now on the ball. Wilson just holding up well, just really well there, Wilson actually. Just keep Kieran Brown from doing anything, not allowing him to turn off. Kieran Brown does get away from it this time now. Now with Rob Hall. Halfway inside the Bath half, holding on to it. Clark trying to put his foot in. Hall holds on to it though. Lovely flick on that time from Deadfield. Gets it across the face of goal. Oh my God, that good, a great opportunity to half the deficit there as Bloomfield came running into the back post. A lovely cross in.
City still leading 2-0.
If you're tuning in to Bath City Radio, you listen to myself, Alex Kieltyka, alongside Andrew Kerslake. It's currently Bath City 2, Hampton and Richmond Borough 0 here at Twerton Park. As Andrew just mentioned, about 20 minutes to go or so as Ewan Clark finds himself on the edge of box. Oh, looks like it's going to unleash a shot. It may unleash a shot now, though. Does take one. Oh, that is just incredible. That is magnificent from Ewan Clark. Take a bow, son. Take an absolute bow. A beautifully taken finesse shot into the side netting here in the 71st minute to make it Bath City 3, Hampton and Richmond Borough 0. And Elliot Freer has taken his bib off, ready to come on. Ewan Clark has just dazzled Twerton Park here, 3-0.
Well, Clark made and took that goal, and well, I think Hampton and Richmond will be so glad to see the back of him. What a signing for Jerry Gill he was, and if he doesn't go on to greater things, I will be enormously surprised.
The substitution is coming on now for City, is Jordan Thomas. Coming off as to go off on the other side, but he'll get a big round of applause from the fans in the Poplar stand as he walks around to the Bristol end and over to us in the grandstand. And here comes Elliot Freer as it's brought forward now. Kieran Brown is playing on the left-hand side this time, potentially so he can cut in with that right foot. Hayfield does well to intercept. His head is a little bit too light, doesn't find its way back to Joe Rains. Seymour now with Deadfield, back out to Kieran Brown. Might try and send a cross in now, or he dummies it away from Rains. Does really well inside box now with Deadfield. Sends a cross in. Pass does well to clear away initially. Darnay couldn't get the ball from underneath his feet. And that's a rash challenge from Rob Hall. He got a bit frustrated, but Freer was about to bring the counter-attack. You could almost argue it was a clever challenge from Rob Hall. Took the book in, stopped Freer from getting on the counter-attack because it would have probably been a 3-on-3 once again. Could be very much more of how things have panned out so far, but it's now with Bloomfield, right-hand side, once again playing him at winger position. They see what haven't changed that of Andrew, but here comes Bloomfield now. Near byline, does take a shot, goes wide though, and he gets it completely wrong. And it will just go straight out for a goal kick for Ollie Wright to take. Hayfield trying to dispossess Rob Hall that time. Wilson coming back to take on Kieran Brown. Brown holding on to ball, does really well. Batten steps up to keep the ball away that time from Seymour. Lovely threaded ball towards Hall from Deadfield that time. He has plenty of space to take a shot. He does so. Took the deflection. Ollie Wright, he had to parry it at first, but he got down well to get it the second time. Gathered it away from Seymour. Brave goalkeeping there from Ollie Wright. Wilson trying to win that header against Cheadle, not able to do so. Russ heads it back towards Batten. He's a bit scrappy in that midfield block there for a moment as Cody Cook comes forward now. Unleashed it to the left-hand side for Freer, who could just send a cross in now. There's a couple of players in there. Does find a Cody Cook with the header. Not able to get enough behind it. The defender put him off really well. I believe it was done. There's a real lack of coherency at times, especially between the midfielders and the forwards. As Hayfield does really well to intercept that ball. And Ewan Clark is on the run. Hayfield does hold on to it. Now it is with Clark. Wasn't the best ball. Slightly behind him. He lays it back up to Hayfield. He may just take a shot. Crosses it in. And it could have been turned in into his own net that time by Cheadle.
City about to make that substitution. And the stand here at Twerton Park rises as one, as you can hear, for an event that I think most of us thought we would never see again. Alex Fletcher coming out onto the football pitch. And a great round of applause. It is Cody Cook that's going off, and Cook applauding all his way to the touchline, as is everybody around this ground. And There's going to be a loud cheer, I think, as soon as Mark Stillman announces it's Alex Fletcher coming on.
I just wanted to stay silent for that moment as Alex Fletcher came onto the pitch, just to hear the ovation of the crowd. And he's just going to plot in exactly where Cody Cook was. What a moment here at Twerton Park. Not quite happy with something. He was a bit confused by what the players were doing there. Inside the box, could always find the player in there. It went past Bloomfield. And Scott Wilson will try and hold the ball up. Wishart does well to defend it. And Russ completely misses the head, and Ollie Wright does well, but it looks like it's going to be a penalty, and it is going to be a penalty. I thought initially Ollie Wright had won the ball away from Seymour. The referee says penalty, and that puts a bit of a downer on the current situation. It probably won't make too much of a change to the final result, but a bit of a frustrating situation there, because from my angle, it looked like Ollie Wright won the ball.
The referee's gone over to talk to his assistant. All the City players appealing.
And it will actually be a free kick for City. I mean, from my angle, it's certainly looked like Ollie Wright had palmed the ball away from Seymour. Seymour wasn't moaning too much initially.
Well done, Callum Fisk. You demonstrated that you can change your mind.
And credit to the linesman as well. Went over, he was very honest, told him what he saw.
All the City players were appealing for him to go to the linesman, and, well, it didn't look to us like a penalty.
Now with Rains, cuts back on himself to keep away from Seymour. And this could now potentially be the first touch of Alex Fletcher, and it certainly is. He chests it down to a big round of applause, and he does well to dispossess Kieran Brown as well. Now Clark. Lots of Hampton players back in that position there as well. Seymour can try and latch onto that. Batten does really well. And it's now going to be on the left-hand side with Freer. Greenside making the overlapping run. Oh, it might find its way all the way through to Wilson, that cross then by Freer. Didn't quite do so, though.
And they looked for a time as if they could penetrate the City defence, but City have defended well this afternoon.
Now Freer just bursting down that left-hand side, so much space. He could send it towards a back post where Alex Fletcher actually waits. Instead tries to cut back to Wilson. Freer had too much, once again, another situation where the Bath players just have too much time in their hands as we're into the final minute now of regulation. Kieran Brown just holding onto the ball. Goes to Hall. Oh, lots of City players behind the ball at the moment as Hall brings it into the box. Greenside blocks it down and Russ clears away, only for Freer to try and win the header for. He does so. It's not the best header, and it only falls as far as done. Now Deadfield. Thomas. Hall. Lots of intricate passing and just no space at all at the moment. As Ewan Clark, lovely tap from Ewan Clark. He's brought down there, and Ewan Clark could send Fletcher through there. He tried to send in Wilson instead. It actually felt like Fletcher would have been the better option on my right-hand side. Now it's with Kieran Brown. Does really well just to give the ball up to Bloomfield, who flicks it onto Kieran Brown again, and Fletcher just back to Rains. And that's a lovely little turn from Rains, who switches up the play up towards Wilson, and Wilson will bring that ball down. Good opportunity perhaps for a hat-trick for Scotty Wilson, who does take a shot, but it's a very tame effort. I think he got a bit too much adrenaline there, did Scott Wilson. It's still 3-0 here at Twerton Park. Bath City taking another huge 3 points away from a side who can cause them a few issues, especially players they have, including this one like Rob Hall. That's a fantastic finish from Rob Hall. Out of nothing, he cuts inside about 15 yards out or so onto his left foot, and he pelts it into the top corner. It's a real shame because the clean sheet was there, and not much that the keeper could do there, Ollie Wright. But another fantastic goal, as we said, Andrew.
Yep, I mean, he was just on the edge of the 18-yard box, and you can see Wright looks frustrated that that went into his net. He was desperate to keep a clean sheet.
The 3 points should be sorted, but can they make sure they don't concede another goal? It's Kieran Brown on that left-hand side now, sends a lovely cross in, Parcells there. Fletcher clears it. Clark with a lovely first touch, has Freer on that left-hand side, uses him. That's a naughty challenge there, man. That's got to be a booking for done there. It went in incredibly hard on Ewan Clark. It was slightly from behind him as well.
Yeah, it was. I personally think that should be a red card. Clark was just about to kick the ball. He had no concept that the player was coming in right on the back of him.
And there goes the full-time whistle. And the turn of events, it ends up being a fantastic 3-0 win for Bath City over Hampton Richmond Borough. And it's almost shadowed by the fact that Alex Fletcher has returned to footballing action here on the City field. Just an incredible day, Andrew.
Yep, and well, just about everything that could go right did go right this afternoon. And Alex Fletcher coming on, as we said at the time, a big emotional moment, but City doing really well. I mean, they started the damage early on. They were great over that opening 20 minutes. We were worried that they hadn't scored, but on 90 minutes, great run by Clark down that right-hand side, ball into the area, and Wilson from close range hit home. And that's the way it stayed at half-time, 1-0. And, you know, we were both saying here, weren't we, where's that second goal? You know, is this going to be one of those matches where you don't get it and suddenly the game turns around? Well, 3 minutes after the interval they did, an absolute pile driver. Great move by Thomas, ball to Cook, Cook back to Wilson, and Wilson from about 20 yards out made absolutely no mistake. And then a cameo goal on 71 minutes. Clark, who's tormented the Hampton and Richmond side all afternoon and often got a kicking for his pains. Well, he twisted and turned his way through the 18-yard box before putting the ball into the right-hand side of the goal. And for City, well, if there was any hangover from that Weston-super-Mare defeat here, certainly it's been exercised by the game, first of all down at Eastbourne, and then again this afternoon, with really as comprehensive a victory as they could do. 3-0 almost, 3-1 I should say, because of course Hampton Richmond got that goal right at the end. 3-1 flatters the visitors. Well, that's great this afternoon. Good result for City. They played really well. A very comprehensive victory, 3-0. Thank you so much for being with us. 3-1, sorry. I keep on forgetting that goal at the end. I think I've already wiped it out by memory.
It was a cracking goal, mate.
It was a good goal from Hall. 3-1. City running out winners today. Bank holiday Monday, City travel up to St Albans. We always have good City attendance there, so if you're going, look out for that, and then we will also be offering you commentary from that game. But for this afternoon, it's goodbye from Alex and myself from Twerton Park. City running out winners here, 3-1 today.